Welcome to a moment in sporting history as Chile makes its WRC debut. Stay put for all the best action from the adventure of the first ever WRC round here. After Elvin Evans lost a battle with the landscape back in Argentina, his M Sport team had their work cut out rebuilding his Fiesta, ready to hit the start line in Chile across the Andes 10 days later. With the work done, the Welshman had time to reflect on what's been a challenging season so far.
I've been on the edge of securing a seat a few times, and while I'm still here, then I'm determined to give everything I've got.
The inaugural Copec Rally Chile, the 6th round of a season already featuring ice, snow, gravel and tarmac. It is a step into the unknown here for this second South American adventure. A nation awaits in Chile, to be followed by the European summer and the finale in Australia in November. So far this season, 3 drivers have dominated. Sébastien Ogier, Ott Tanak and Thierry Neuville, the only men to have won rallies this year. But last time out, Elvin Evans and Esa-Pekka Lappi fell victim to a dramatic Rally Argentina. Even reigning champion Ogier, who'd never won in South America, nearly came undone on stage 6.
I was in one wheel, basically, only the front. Didn't see anything yet.
And Ott Tanak, well, he saw the return of Toyota's electrical gremlins. Meanwhile, Thierry Neuville, who's only been off the podium once this year, made it back-to-back wins in Argentina, and he's got Hyundai on a high.
Feeling great, to be honest. I have to say we had a great car all weekend. I felt very comfortable in it, and I think it's a big team effort. Everybody pushed very hard.
Neuville's win in Argentina puts him 10 points clear of Sébastien Ogier in second, with Ott Tanak losing ground after his alternator issues. A significant gap splits the top 3 from the chasing pack, led by Chris Meek. Hyundai topped the manufacturer's standings, Tanak's retirement hindering Toyota's title challenge. Citroën are a mere 3 points further adrift, and M Sport need to score good points here to make up ground. This first ever Rally Chile will be contested over 304 competitive kilometres. Stages deep in the forests outside host city Conception, just shy of 500 kilometres south of Santiago.
I think we all have been impressed during the recce with what we've seen. It's a very nice profile, very smooth road where it should be very enjoyable to drive. So no, it's an exciting weekend ahead.
Looks like a really enjoyable rally, quite challenging, a lot of different types of stages, a lot of different surfaces, so yeah, it's going to be quite enjoyable.
There's a big mix of different rallies from the World Rally Championship. First day reminds me a lot from New Zealand. Second day, a lot like Wales Rally GP on dry condition. Final day, there is a bit of Finland, Mexico, Portugal. I have a good feeling this is going to be a good rally.
Plenty to look forward to on the stages then, but a new rally means all new pace notes, so spare a thought for co-drivers burning the midnight oil.
It's one of the biggest challenges a co-driver's got to face. Turning up to the start of a stage with a blank book, trying to get all the information down from the driver is first off a big challenge, but then translating all that information, a lot of the time on the bumpy roads it's quite scrappy, so that's meant we've had to rewrite the pace notes in its entirety. So we've maybe spent 16, 17 hours on the stages writing the notes, and then it's been another 10 or 12 hours back in the hotel room tidying them all up.
As the first group of cars hit the start ramp, the wait was finally over for the thousands of Chilean fans. Their fully fledged World Championship rally was now a reality. An electric atmosphere pulsed through Conception city centre. Fans, drivers, team bosses and everyone else in the vicinity came together to celebrate. A fitting fiesta to welcome Chile to the WRC before the serious business would begin the following day. After the excitement of the previous night, the crews would head out into the unknown to the first day of Rally Chile. Some of these stages had been wrecked in the fog, so there was some concern over pace notes. To kick things off, Friday would be the longest day of the rally, with 2 loops of stages to the south.
It's the longest, thinnest country on the planet, and this low cloud rolls over it off the Pacific. Chile, but with a very warm welcome. But it's rally stages, a complete unknown for the leader of the World Rally Championship, Thierry Neuville.
Completely new stages with all new pace notes, no experience on the surface. It will be difficult. Obviously, sometimes further on the road you could be a little bit more hesitating than the cars behind, which can benefit from the lines. That's what we need to avoid. So we need to be right on it from the beginning. And if the conditions are good for us, we should be able to fight for a good position.
And it wasn't a bad start from the Belgian, just a little down on confidence. First to use those driving marks, left by Neuville, the world champion, Seb Ogier. Seb blinking, hiccuping at this narrow old wooden bridge after a couple of kilometres, and it cost him a second or two. Oyt Tanak, in the Toyota that broke and died on him in Argentina a couple of weeks ago, relishing the roads that reminded him a little of the roads back in Estonia. But down at that bridge, Oyt losing the minimal grip that was there and stalling the car. And struggling to fire it back into life. A puncture cost Northern Ireland's Chris Meek a podium in Argentina, so he let Chile feel his disappointment.
And long 6 right narrows into crest. But slow 50, a slow 4-left hug. Opens. 150.
Meek fighting his way through the early damp and mud and quick out of the blocks. With driver contracts soon to be discussed, Andreas Mikkelsen was thrilled to be part of a Hyundai 1-2 a fortnight ago. But here, an early setback for Andreas. Mikkelsen hit a big rock right in the middle of the road, and after that he could feel the confidence and the rhythm drain from his driving. Chris Meek had the fastest time in the bag on Chile's opening stretch of forest. Until that was, teammate Jari-Matti Latvala came along, and after just over 17 kilometres, recorded exactly the same time. Joint stage winners. This part of Chile reminded Esa-Pekka Lappi of the rally stages in Australia with its copper colour topping. This enormous brown puddle reminded him of his sizable crash in Argentina. This time, no crushing impact. And an escape. But after 21 seconds.
First blood to Toyota here in Chile, with Latvala and Meek out front. Evans, Ogier and Tanak complete the top 5, who were split by just 2.9 seconds. Next, the rest of the action from the first day of Rally Chile as Tanak makes his mark. And a look at what M Sport have been up to in the break between Argentina and Chile.
Big deal. It's Big Johnny. There's youth.
The best of the action from day 1 of the first ever Rally Chile in a moment, but first, a visit to M Sport Ford. The South American double-header means the teams didn't have the luxury of returning back to base in between rallies. Not ideal when this happened.
To be honest, Elvin's car was pretty much back together again by Tuesday evening. The guys did a fantastic job with us not competing on the Sunday. It gave us an opportunity to start cutting the damage out to that chassis leg. They cut out the bent piece, straightened it up again, and welded in a new section. Sanded it down, painted it up. You know, effectively, we're not in the workshop at all. We just had to kind of improvise on any situations we needed. Our planning before the event and thinking about how we were going to go between Argentina and Chile seemed to work well.
A massive thank you to the guys. There was a lot of work to do. They did a great job with very limited resources, so definitely over a few beers.
With the car fixed, it was sent off over the Andes with the transporters, leaving the crew with a bit of downtime.
So once those cars left on Wednesday night, we had 2 days off, effectively.
John, go on, my son, go on, my son!
We thought it'd be a good idea for 21 of us to bike downhill, down El Condor.
Fall by Dale, there's Big Johnny, there's you!
We had one engineer fall off within 1 kilometre. We had another engineer fall off within about 16 kilometres.
Milan, know what you want to see at this time of the day. What happened?
Well, it was a tricky corner, just after the bridge.
But luckily, we didn't injure anyone too badly. And it was a real good opportunity, actually, to have a bit of fun together and a bit of team building and just relax, because we've all been away for the best part of 3 weeks. So it's a big commitment for a lot of people who've got family or wives at home that want them back. Containers and the cars arrived on Sunday, and we had the service park set up in 1 day because there's so many of us here. It's exciting to see everything set up in a new country, new rally, new stages. It would be great to be able to get a good result on the first running of that rally, because it's something that's everyone wants to win the first rally of a new country.
Chile had waited for the World Rally Championship for a long time. The welcome party was still going strong. And now they wanted to see how the world's greatest were going to tame the Puma, the longest stage of the weekend. Its shiny roads would soon be rusting the confidence and eating away at ability. Seb Ogier spoke for them all. Great looking road, he said, but there's absolutely no grip on it anywhere. The roads were extremely difficult to work out, and being a new event, those newly written pace notes weren't exactly fit for purpose just yet. But Oyt Tanak won stage 2. Everyone was curious, was apprehensive. Chris Meek among the early starters who saw problems wherever he looked. Nothing felt right. And on stage 2, his sparkling start lost its fizz. These pace notes were providing all the right information, just so why was he losing all this time?
Long fast 5 right. 120 of a small crest. And bust on through 4 right of a crest and turn 1 left hug.
Jari-Matti Latvala reckoned Chile looked a little bit like Finland. Now, he grew up on roads like this, so he knew what was required. But then his Toyota started to misbehave, a bit of oversteer. And only by the end of the morning did he manage to find any real pace. Thierry Neuville was on the top of the world, the championship leader after wins in Argentina and Corsica. Intent on taking a hat-trick in Chile. Stage 3 would help. Neuville was the quickest. But he was helped when the earlier stage was interrupted. Thierry, the only driver not to do that at speed. And so the grip here on his tyres was much better. Neuville had been given a nominal time for stage 2 after concerns about spectator safety. And here, he'd had the bit between his teeth. There were no big boulders in Chile. They were all back across the Andes. And Elvin Evans was glad. And this car had been skillfully rebuilt by M Sport, so here he could focus again. But these opening roads were becoming polished, treacherous, and some were already producing loose gravel, sitting there on the top of the road and making life very interesting at high speed.
Tanak had opened up a 6-second lead over Sébastien Ogier, with the nominal time given to Neuville placing him a mere half a second behind the Frenchman. With the first loop of 3 stages complete, the crews head back to the Conception Service Park, where Neuville seemed less than impressed.
We tried to do as good as we could on all 3 stages. Obviously, we got slowed down by the red flag in the mid stage, so that has to be re-seen about the time we got, because we're not very happy about that.
It's been going well so far, and then generally everything's looking good, but I must say the rally is tough. It's hard. First stage I was not happy at all. The balance was nowhere close where I expected to be. But after that, on the road section, I managed to do quite a lot, and I must say the chassis balance improved quite a bit. We still have some things to do to get the full confidence in the car, but I believe we did already some good steps, and now mechanics and engineers can do another ones.
Chile? No, the sun was out now. And the title contenders had had a midday interval to try and adapt their cars. It had worked for some, not for others. Thierry Neuville. Neuville still reluctant. Neuville not wanting to take any risks. But on this repeat of the loop of stages, Thierry could attack and hope to be the fastest. Seb Ogier wasn't happy. Even though he was already right in the heat of battle for the victory, he was giving it everything. But Ogier's problem was his car wasn't giving it back. And already he knew he couldn't match the speed that Roy Tanak had found as a result of the work that he had done on his Yaris during the service halt. This Toyota, it was making life easy, giving Oit a great drive. And he was looking irresistible. But Jari-Matti Lavela, well, he wasn't feeling the love. Lavela was quick. Lavela was very quick, throwing punches with Neuville in the battle for third place. Neuville had been 6.3 seconds ahead. But on stage 4, it was advantage Lavela, but he was making silly mistakes. And his advantage was cut. And there was only one man to blame.
Jari, you were faster all the way through the stage until split 4. What happened?
I'm a stupid guy. I'm really stupid. How I can be so stupid that I stole it in the junctions? I don't understand. I'm really annoyed, you know. Incredible. I have no words. How can I be so stupid?
Remember the magic of Argentina? Remember the tricks that Andreas Mikkelsen was producing on our first stop of our South American adventure? Well, not here. Here, Mikkelsen and his I-20 were rearing up on 2 wheels. This was a car Mikkelsen couldn't control. By contrast, his occasional teammate, Seb Loeb, was getting quicker and quicker. Loeb put in a special effort on the rerun of the 30-kilometre stage, and he was up a place.
15 seconds faster than Elvin Evans in there. You climb a position.
Okay, I didn't know, but I pushed hard all the afternoon. The second pass was better for me. The conditions were better, and I'm feeling better in the car. Also more confident on the second pass. So I think I did a good afternoon until now.
Ott Tänak in imperious form, building confidence in both himself and his Yaris throughout the afternoon to lead Ogier by 23 seconds. Latvala is third, with Neuville just 2.4 seconds behind in fourth. On Friday night, the WRC came back to town again as the fans lined the Conception Street stage. A 2-kilometre blast around the streets gave the locals a chance to catch a glimpse of their new heroes blasting through the streets. They would not have been disappointed. Sebastian Loeb set the fastest time.
We enjoy to do some donuts sometimes. It's nice for the fun and nice for us also, because this car is just like a video game, so you can play with it.
Before Chilean Dakar hero Chaleco presented the hometown fans with something they wouldn't have been expecting. The first ever day of Rally Chile was done. Ott Tänak leads Sebastian Ogier with Jari-Matti Latvala in third. The Finn will be feeling the heat from Thierry Neuville, and Loeb's stage win puts him just behind Meek in sixth. Saturday's stages would be fast and flowing, and Chile would claim its first victims. 2 bruising encounters would be the talking points of the second day. Coming up after the break. The first running of the Copec Rally Chile has highlighted the stunning landscape of the Bio region to the south of Santiago in the centre of the country. Run in the deep forests and logging tracks near the regional capital of Conception, this has been a unique new challenge. Elvin Evans has proved that he is a man that can be reckoned with and deserves a place at the top table. But to keep that place, you need a bit of luck, something he certainly didn't have in Corsica.
I think whenever you lose a rally like that, it's always disappointing, and you always try to look for answers or for reasons why. But I think ultimately it's one of those that you know, it did happen. It was sort of one of them things, unfortunately, this time. So yeah, for sure it still hurts, but you know, all we can do is take the positives from it and move on and concentrate on the upcoming rallies. Yeah, I think it's fair to say it's been a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, a poor start in Monty, not really what we wanted, with a big accident on the Saturday. From Sweden onwards, the speed has been quite good, to be honest, overall. Not quite as consistent maybe as we would have liked, but there's been some good rallies in there and some not so good ones.
2019 saw Elvin part company with his long-term co-driver Daniel Barrett. They had been working together since 2013.
It's never easy to change because it's you know, something that you're so used to. Obviously, I've been working with Dan for such a long time. So, you know, to change with Scott, there was inevitably going to be a bedding in period, but I have to say it's gone every bit as well as I could have hoped, really. The Ford brand has been a big part of my life, obviously, working and growing up in a Ford dealership, and then obviously having the opportunities to progress through the rallying ladder with Ford. But that's not to say that, you know, I wouldn't change teams in the future. It's just a case of reviewing what opportunities come up, and obviously I'll do the utmost to do the best job I can. It's not an easy life at home because there's so much preparation to do now, as well as all the time away travelling. So, you know, the family at home have to suffer quite a lot from the time I'm able to give them, but you know, we're sort of in it together. You're only here once, you only get the chance once, and let's say I've been on the edge of securing a seat a few times, and that makes you more determined. And while I'm still here, then I'm determined to give everything I've got.
Saturday's stages would be more open, fast and flowing, and have been described in nature as a combination of Wales, Finland and New Zealand. The challenge, as always, to judge the perfect balance between commitment to speed and minimising risk. 121 kilometres of Chilean stages would provide the answer.
And Oyt Tänak was still the man to catch. But the Estonian driver had some big reputations queuing up behind him to ruin his long stay in South America. Things speeded up on Saturday, but it was a slow corner early in stage 7 that ruined it all for Chris Meek.
One right minus. And early 3 left.
It was just here that Chris ran wide. The trees near the edge of the road didn't help him, and on to his roof he went.
You okay? Yeah.
And off the leaderboard he came.
Early. Oh, right now! You okay? Yeah.
Both okay, but both upside down. First to come across the upturned Meek was Thierry Neuville. Seb Marshall, Meek's co-driver, warning him of their stricken Yaris. But Chris was back on the road by the time Jari-Matti Latvala reached the spot of the tumble. Latva spotted the toiling Meek and boiled over. He's being held up by this. Up ahead, Marshall also struggling to keep his broken door closed. Eventually, Chris pulled over to let his teammate through. Jari had lost a lot of time in Meek's wake, but he was sure he would get that time back.
I think he didn't realize that we are behind him, so we drove for quite a long time behind him, many kilometers until they realized. So we should, in this case, we should get time benefit. Time benefit. It's absolutely there needs to be that.
So much time was lost righting the Yaris that Seb Ogier also came past Chris. And at that point, Chris could continue. But his morning with that shattered windscreen was just beginning to get very difficult. Ogier pushed on. Meek rattled up to the stop control.
Chris, the car obviously looks heavily damaged. What's happened?
I rolled a slow corner, accelerating through a slow corner. I ran wide. There must have been a tree stump or something on the outside.
Chile, they loved it. And this was how Meek and Marshall tackled the remainder of the morning stages, driving fast without a windscreen. Although the backup visors made the pair look pretty cool. And that missing windscreen, it seemed to just make them faster. In stages 8 and 9, Chris was only 3 and a bit seconds behind the stage winner, who was Seb Loeb. But Meek's role was nothing in comparison to Thierry Neuville. In third place, 1.4 seconds off Seb Ogier, and a horrific roll in stage 8. A series of rolls, over and over 7 times. And they had just reached the podium places. Nerville and co-driver Gilzel actually got out, and with no more than bruising. But there was so little left of the I-20, it was an I-10. Jari-Matti Latvala would find that battered Hyundai first. But the Finn could hardly slow down too much. He would inherit Nerville's third place. But Latvala was coming under growing pressure as well. And that pressure came from Seb Loeb in the Hyundai. And the danger was that after his first few stages on gravel for the team, Loeb was starting to understand this I-20. Up front, and at one with his Toyota Yaris, Ott Tänak. And Tänak was about to rack up his first stage win of the day, but after Friday's efforts, well, Ott was on top of the world. And in a position to make up for the disappointment in Corsica and Argentina.
Tänak in a class of his own here in Chile. Sebastian Ogier is the first of the chasing pack, but he's in a battle with Latvala, who would be looking to strike quickly to close that mere 3.9-second gap. Sebastian Loeb had put himself in contention for the final podium place too. After passing medical checks, Thierry Neuville and co-driver Nicolas Gilzel were back at service with nothing more than bumps and bruises, testament to the protection of the modern WRC cars.
Yeah, Nicolas and me, myself, are good. Obviously, we had quite a big shock this morning in the car, a couple of shocks, but we survived, and we had both a proper checkup in the hospital here, which did a very good job, and we are both fine. A little bit optimistic. The pace notes was like a slight right flat over crest, and yeah, I went a little bit wide, and we hit the edge, and then immediately we rolled the gap. The situation is definitely not the one we wanted, but even if you go away from here, I mean, the gap will be not that big between Ogier and Tänak and me, so the championship is still very open.
Chris Meek also limped back to service, where the crack team of Toyota engineers leapt into action to repair his Yaris for the afternoon loop.
Your guys did that in 40 minutes. How long do you think it would have been in a normal garage in the high street in Helsinki or somewhere?
4 days, I would say.
And as a team, Toyota won the 2018 Manufacturers' Championship. But recent reliability issues have put that title defence under pressure. Most frustratingly, Ott Tänak retiring from a winning position deep into Rally Argentina.
Earlier problem we had just overheated alternator, which was destroying the alternator itself, so burning it, and that's been the problem. The airflow cooling capacity is not enough to keep car cool enough during the stages, and that's why we need quite a lot of fans and different items. It's nearly sorted completely, but we still keep working. Everybody knows Toyota is one of the most reliable cars in the world, and our car has to be also. I can see how Ott is feeling.
Is that what caused the spin? Malcolm Wilson, your friend, he put out a story that he would like to try and tempt Ott Tänak back to M Sport for next year. What is your response to that, and what are your hopes going into next year with drivers?
Yeah, well, it is. I'm sure Ott is the driver. Everybody wants to have him. Last year, M Sport had Ogier, and he made M Sport very strong team. Now they're missing one of the potential world champion driver.
It's no secret that Malcolm and Ott have a very good relationship, because Malcolm has seen him through his career and spent a lot of time and investment in Ott to get him to where he is now. You know, this Fiesta, he did a lot of development on the 2017 car and made it kind of what it is in some ways. But I think you have to start looking early if you want to try and make a move on somebody. And we'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, there's no secret in hiding. It would be great to have him back in the team.
And who wouldn't? Driving like this, in a healthy Yaris, who wouldn't? Saturday afternoon, and Seb Loeb was about to produce one of the star drives. Producing the kind of consistency he used to show day in, day out, back in the day. Loeb on his second day with his car on gravel, and he was heaps better, heaps faster than the first, and it ended with a stage win. And there was a bonus for the Frenchman as well. Jari-Matti Latvala had just hauled himself onto the podium. But with the end of the day in sight, through the fog, he clattered a rock in a ditch and damaged his drive shaft. One day, Jari-Matti. One day. And that was Loeb's bonus, moving up into Latvala's third place. Seb Ogier was the winner of stage 12, but he had fears for the rest of his afternoon. Unlike the rest of his rivals, Ogier had decided to drive on a mixture of hard and medium compound tyres. Now those mediums were wearing out, overheating, and Seb was dropping time. And with Loeb getting quicker and quicker, this would be his second place under threat from Loeb, his arch rival. And there was rain in the air as well. But rain or shine, it wasn't going to take any shine off Ott Tänak's closing kilometres. Two days down, one to go.
Oh, that's a relatively slow time in there. I'm guessing you got a bit of the bad weather.
Yeah, it was wet all the way. Yeah, I didn't know it so much. It was only maybe last 3 days which was dry, but the rest was really raining and very thick fog in the middle. So it was quite extreme, but no, we were safe and that was important.
Your lead going into the last day, 30.3 seconds.
It's more than yesterday, so everything's been going in the right direction.
Confirmation of Tänak's lead after another standout performance from the Estonian. Ogier over 30 seconds behind, but he'll be looking over his shoulder at an old foe chasing him down. Sebastian Loeb is a mere 5.1 behind his former teammate, with Elfyn Evans in fourth. Ott Tänak poised then to strike back in the title race. He has been in this position before, however, and ended up empty-handed. And the nature of the final day stages mean Rally Chile is far from over. Welcome to the dawn of the last day of Rally Chile as the drivers gather at the Conception Service Park before heading out to tackle the final stages.
Stages are very different, very narrow, very fast, very technical, so I will do my best, try to get the feeling, try to push, and for the rest we'll see.
It won't be easy up to the end, but of course we're going to try our best to keep the second place. At least for sure we need this podium. Podium is always a good result for the championship.
It's a very nice event, but definitely this will be one of my top of the list, you know, in this championship.
Sunday's 4-stage finale covers almost 59 kilometres. The BO test opens the action and closes it as the power stage. This is no Sunday drive, though, as blind crests lurk in both the other stages.
Sunday morning, everyone had come a long way. The journey was now coming to its end. Back on Friday, Chris Meek had thrust himself into the joint rally lead, but he hadn't enjoyed himself much since. And now, the low cloud demanded he trust his pace notes, when really they'd done nothing but create doubt. But the fear was overcome. With places to make up, he took Sunday's opening stage. That wasn't a concern for Elfyn Evans. With the finish line in sight, he made sure he looked after his car on these narrow Sunday stages and make it to the finish. In a hurry, that was. For Seb Loeb, it was lift-off all over again. Loeb had work to do, and an old foe to catch.
What a fight, Seb. Last bit I've got, he's 1 second quicker than you.
It's possible. It's a very difficult stage, very narrow, very fast. I was hesitating a little bit. If you notice a little bit wrong, you are off. So it was not a perfect rhythm, but I tried to push.
Not perfect, but Loeb had Ogier on stage 13 by an impressive 4 seconds. But that was as far as Seb Ogier was going to let him get. There was no way anyone was going to get near Ogier on stage 14. This was wild. This was determined stuff. The clock proved it. Ogier, top Seb. And still in second place.
Oh, Seb, that's incredible. Massive commitment through one of the most difficult stages in the rally. 4.2 quicker.
Yeah, it's been a difficult stage. I didn't thought I'd drive it really well. It was still a lot of hesitation, but it's difficult for everyone. It's so fast, so narrow. You need to have a very fine line.
Ott Tänak left the two Sebs to their little ding-dong. His work was done. His hard yards were driven. And anyway, unlike the power stage, there were no bonus points here for extra effort. That would come later.
Two French guys are fighting quite hard, so of course we need to keep some kind of pace, so really can't drive through, but for the moment it's been a nice clean rhythm.
With one stage remaining, Tänak's lead trimmed to 21.8 seconds, but the fight for second would go down to the wire. With Loeb fighting back again in stage 15, the gap was down to 4.6.
High noon, the sun warming Chile one last time. Time for Ott Tänak to reach for the skies again. The Argentina power stage was still fresh in the mind of Jari-Matti Latvala as he pedalled his way to the finish line. He'd been outdone back east, but now, over the Andes, he'd rolled up his sleeves. And his time looked very good. Disappointment at the beginning of the weekend for Esa-Pekka Lappi, and right at the end as well. In a real hurry and challenging on the split times, the Finn asked too much of his C3 and the C3 wouldn't obey. Now that wouldn't bring a bonus point. Seb Loeb knew others needed bonus points much more than him. Loeb's job this season is to look after the team in the Manufacturers' Championship. Loeb, done and dusted. A relieved Latvala could breathe again. Loeb hadn't threatened him.
I did a good stage, but for sure the gap was too big, and I think it's no chance if he doesn't do any mistake. It's no chance to be in front, but I'm happy to fight with him. It's a long time I didn't drive like this, and to be in the game was magnificent.
Next, to take a swing at Jari-Matti's power stage time, it was Seb Ogier. And once again, the numbers were looking good. Ogier 1.8 seconds quicker through the final stage, and even more disappointment for the Finn. One day, Jari-Matti. One day. And then came Oit. But with his eyes on the bigger prize, Tanak wouldn't be tempted by the extra point on the table. Was that Tommy Mäkinen practicing his applause? Well, think again. Just like in Sweden, when Oit wants it, he wants it bad. Victory. Perfection. Deep joy. Well, the team showed it. For the second time this year, winners. And up onto the roof of the car they went. Tanak, too hot to handle in Chile. Tanak, the power stage winner.
Yeah, great event. First time here. As I said, it's been a very difficult and demanding weekend.
Didn't look so difficult for you. Good mate. Very well done.
So yeah, it was a tough job. It needed a lot of focus and a lot of energy to be perfect this weekend. Of course, we couldn't be on the limit all the time, but at least we could deliver a good result. And also, I mean, the most important, it was actually for the team, for the engineers, for the mechanics, because we've had now 2 setbacks in a row in 2 rallies where we've lost the lead. So yeah, now we proved again that we have this to take it and to make it. So it's just, you know, everybody just keep pushing and keep fighting. We have it, we can do it.
Confirmation of Tanak's win after leading since the second stage of the rally. When the Estonian and his Yaris are in this sort of form, he is untouchable. Ogier held off Loeb, and in late news, Chris Meek received a time penalty at the close, so drops down to 10th place. Back in Conception, Toyota celebrate the dominant display from Oit Tanak and Martin Järveoja.
Tommy, first ever Rally Chile, and a brilliant performance from Oit and from Toyota.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant weekend for us, for it. He did so great drive. Being first time, he mentioned in the morning it's so difficult because first time through the stages flat out and new notes, and it was big challenge for everybody. He did no mistakes and he won the rally, and so it was absolutely brilliant weekend. It's very, very good. Maximum points for him, and now it is very, very interesting game. We continue interesting game from Portugal.
Brilliant. Congratulations, Tommy.
Thank you.
With that win, Oit Tanak moves up to second in the drivers' standings, but Sébastien Ogier is the new championship leader as Neuville drops to third. Meek remains the best of the rest in fourth, with Sebastian Loeb climbing to sixth. Hyundai are still leading the manufacturers' standings, with their lead over Toyota trimmed to 29 points. Citroën a further 6 points adrift ahead of fourth place M Sport. That is it from South America, and what a debut it's been for Rally Chile. Next up on the WRC Tour, the high-speed dirt tracks of Portugal. Hasta la próxima.
Oh,